Yes. Okay, here we have a 200 cell tray. This is what you buy from the commercial guys. We've got it set up here on a seeder, and this is a demonstration of how the seeder works. Here you have the vibrating tray and the seeds set up here as a test. The vacuum picks up the, let's see it, maybe that one there. See the little seed on the end of the needle there, in the middle? Comes over here and it drops down into the bar that we've made up for this particular seed tray, and the vacuum, you see the little seed has dropped down here, and it's dropped a seed in every single one there. Comes back over here, and again automatically it pushes forward one line, and it just keeps on going like that. And that rose up another line of little seeds. There you can see the seed just there on the end of the needle. The vacuum pickup, and it drops down and it goes like that. So we've done what, 3, and there's the time, say 6-second bar. So we're just pushing through the whole seed tray, and this is how it really works. But we're only just demonstrating this, show you how fast it actually works. So that's 30 seconds already. On this tray, what is it, $26 for one of these trays. And we're nearly there. It's our last one. So you've got to push it by hand on the last 2. One another pick up, and the last one goes there, and we're done. And time is, where can we see that second hand there is on the 6 again. It's taken 60 seconds to actually do the whole tray. So before we did it, you have what's called dibbler here. You punch little dimples in the cell with this little device. Drops in there like that. We just go punch, 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 and then we have, to finish it off, we just go give it a bit of a shake, and there you have a tray which would be planted out in Saltbush seeds. So this is a little great little system here. And it just turns off on the wall, and that was it. Okay. Here is a sample of a tray which has been bare rooted. The standard seedling tray that nurseries use is this one here, and we have had, looks like 40 plants survive and are now quite tall. So imagine this on a outdoor large-scale 100-meter rows where you have planted these in the ground, and they just pull out. Okay, they just rip out, and there's no seed tray, nothing like this, nothing to worry about. And what we're up against is the cost of doing it by seed trays, by the commercial method. This is one of the commercial ones here. So I have a set here. These are all the same age, and this is what your 200 cell seedling will look like. A little bit overgrown, well actually a lot overgrown. Next level up is the ones I showed over here, those seed trays there, and then you have the bigger ones which are traditionally used for little trees. There is the bare rooted one. It comes out of this tray here. Out of that tray you have a bare rooted one which is pulled out quite well, one not pulled out quite so well. They're all about the same height, and this one has hardly got any roots on at all. There's only a few tiny little roots there. So you have a good example, medium, and a bad example. Now they're all going to grow. The problem you have if you're going to do cuttings like in here is you need to take the cuttings around about November, December on new growth only. The older growth is very hard to strike. It will strike, but the older growth is very slow to strike, and you need a lot bigger cuttings for it to happen. But on the new growth, the spring growth, you can take cuttings and just about every single one will grow. So on a large scale bare rooting method, you will have these behind your tractor wheels. You've rotary hoed several times the land, and you've got it ready, and your water system is there. You plant this out as a seed in rows, and if you do it in rows with a machine like I've just shown you, you can then knife cut in between the rows, and then get a lifting bar and put the lifting bar under and lift them out, and you'll get pretty much something like that every time, which will be just what you want. So you can space them quite close, and they will pull out. But most of you won't have access to or do that actual seed tray, so you will just scatter the seeds and lightly shake them in and keep them watered, and they will all grow. The ones that have seeds in them will grow for you. So this is what we're aiming for on the bare rooting system. You can do this for almost nothing. You can produce that for on your land. You can produce that. It's so tough, so big, so hardy that you can't really kill it. If you plant it 6 inches deep, have a different seed planter than is what is commercially used for these little things. You have to have a different design, which I kind of got figured out. So on the very worst, you're going to have something like that that's going to be a year old or less, depending on your growing conditions, that you can just rip out. Say you plant in the springtime, you seed, and then you've got these will grow up, and you're going to start planting in after the first rains in autumn, and you're going to plant all the way through winter, and you're going to be serious about it. You're going to put in the time, and you may not be able to do your 26 hectares a day as the commercial guys, but if you did 6 hectares a day, you're in the win. So these just rip out by hand, and because they're on your land and they're so easy to grow, you only rip them out as you need them, and it's just a way of getting things established without having to pay this horrific cost for these seed tray ones growing in the 200 cell. So this is what I am pushing, is for you to learn how to grow these for free, just your labor and input, and you can grow them by the millions. If you need help, give me a call, but a lot of you will be able to do it by yourself. It's just not that hard to bypass the nursery situation of commercially growing these things in seed trays. Or if you want to do seed trays, use that. Use one of those, and you can just fill it with your dirt, and then you can sprinkle on your seed, and then you can sprinkle on a fine sand or some cover, or just soil again on top, and you'll cover it up and keep it in the nursery situation, like this tunnel house I'm in here. It's tunnel house. You see some saltbush, some overgrown saltbush down the back there. It'll grow. You can do it. You can do quite a lot on one of these plastic tunnel houses. So I hope that will inspire you to produce, not these, but produce that, and just rip them out. And I hope that a lot of you can figure out how to get your seed planted, do your seed planter, because you didn't need the seed planter to handle that. Okay, thank you.